All right, guys, this video is to help you with the assignment where you need to write the equations of parallel lines. And really, this is like the culminating lesson or the culminating assignment of the entire unit that we've done. We've been writing equations in slope-intercept form, standard form, point-slope form, and we've been going back and forth between all of them. There's really been a lot to this unit. And so this is one of those problems that is kind of a culminating problem. And if you're able to do this, I'm confident that you'll do well on a test. So the problem here says write an equation of the line that is parallel to y equals 3 over 4x minus 2 and contains the point 12, 15. The problem also tells us to write the equation in all three forms. So I've written the three forms here. We need to write the equation in slope-intercept form, in point-slope form, and in standard form. And I'll move the paper back and forth to reference this. Now, I'm going to first put it in slope-intercept form. That's really like the most basic form that we can get the problem into. And really, I know that that's the equation that most of you have memorized anyway. So y equals mx plus b. Let's take a look here at what we've got. I know that the slope is 3 over 4x. The y-intercept of this problem is -2. But I need to write the equation that goes through this point and is parallel to this. Now, when it's parallel, that means it's going to have the same slope. I know that this is my x and this is my y. And the question that I encourage you all to ask yourself when you start a problem is, what can I do with the information that I have? Usually you'll find that what you can do with any information is plug it in. So let's first put this in slope-intercept form by plugging in the information that we know. We know that y is 15. So I'll say 15 equals. I know that the slope, because it's going to be parallel to this line, has to be 3 over 4. So 15 equals 3 over 4. I also know my x is 12 times 12. What we don't know about our new equation is what the what the y-intercept is. And as you know, in slope-intercept form, that is represented by the letter b. That's really what we're looking for here. So I'm going to write plus b, and that's what we're going to be solving for. So to solve this, I'm first going to multiply 3 over 4 times 12. When we're multiplying fractions, we do it like this. 3 over 4 times 12. There's, as you know, a 1 underneath of that 12. And we multiply straight across. So 3 times 12 is 36. 4 times 1 is 4. And then we can simplify this fraction. 36 divided by 4 is 9. So the result of that multiplication there is 9. So we have 15 equals 9 plus b. All right. Next step, to get b by itself, we're going to subtract 9 from both sides. That cancels out over here. We're left with 6 equals b. So now we know that the y-intercept of this equation is 6. We know that the slope is 3 over 4. We have our m and our b. We can write the slope-intercept form now as y equals 3 over 4x plus 6. So now we have our first equation in slope-intercept form. Now, we can really go from slope-intercept form to standard form pretty simply. All we need to do is bring the x over to the other side. As you see, there's ax plus by equals c. And you'll remember, in standard form, we can have no fractions, and x, the coefficient for x, must be positive. So let's do that. I'm going to start by just rewriting the slope-intercept form. Y equals 3 over 4x plus 6. Now, to get x to the other side, I'm going to subtract it from both sides. It'll cancel out here on the right side, and we'll have -3 over 4x plus y equals 6. Okay, that's a good start, but we haven't satisfied the requirements for standard form because we have a negative in front of x and there's a fraction. Now, as you remember from last week, to cancel out 3 over 4, if we want to get rid of this fraction, we would multiply that by 4. That's the denominator. And these would cancel out, and I'd just be left with 3. But now, we can't just do that to this fraction. We have to do it to everything. Also, we want to get rid of the negative. And to get rid of the negative, as you know, a negative times a negative equals a positive. We're going to multiply everything in this equation by a negative, specifically a negative 4. When I do that, it will cancel out this fraction. It'll get rid of that denominator, and it'll make this positive. Watch what happens when I distribute to everything. Negative 4 times this fraction, obviously that'll just cancel out, and we're left with 3x, that's positive. Negative 4 times y would result in a negative 4y. And negative 4 times 6 is negative 24. And this is in standard form. So we've gotten our slope-intercept. We've gotten our standard. The only thing we need to do now is point-slope form. And this is really simple. Actually, we probably could have done this first. Point-slope form is y minus y1 equals m times the quantity of x minus x1. I'll write it again down here. Y minus y1 equals m times the quantity of x minus x1. So what do we do from here? We know that the slope being parallel to this line, they must be the same. So that's going to be 3 over 4. But where does this y and where does this x come from? Where do we get that? Well, we get it from the problem itself, 12 and 15. So y minus y1, that's 15. Y minus 15 equals m. My slope, as you remember, is 3 over 4 times the quantity of x minus x1, that x is 12. And so this here is point slope. Okay, so just to recap, we needed to write the equation of this line, a line parallel to it, that goes through this point in slope-intercept, point-slope in standard form. We really could have done point-slope first. That was the easiest because we have the slope already and we have the point, so we would have just put that into the equation. That's very simple. Slope-intercept form, we had to solve for b by plugging in the points to x and y, and we already knew the slope. Once we solved for b, we could rewrite the equation with our parallel slope and with the b that we solved for. And then for standard form, we just took our slope-intercept form, put it into the ax plus by equals c format, and we had to make sure that there were no fractions and that x was a positive, had a positive coefficient. All right, so that was one problem. I know it took over 8 minutes, but hopefully as you watch this, you could use it to help you with the rest of the assignment.